Welcome to the fourth of our interviews during the 10 Days of Connection, part of the Connect Miami Community Initiative and Community Engagement Initiative that the Miami Herald and its partners in the community are participating in. And we are using this time to talk to people that everyone in the community should connect with, people that you should know. Today we're talking to Woody Beckham. He is the founder of the Woody Foundation, which really seeks to make life better for people who are challenged by paralysis. Woody, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Nancy.
What's the purpose of the Woody Foundation?
We started the Woody Foundation because I felt that people with paralysis could use additional help, especially in integrating back into their communities after suffering a traumatic injury. So 6 months after I was paralyzed, my family and friends helped me start the Woody Foundation.
Talk about, in 2011 you did have a catastrophic injury. Talk about what you were doing and what happened.
So I was playing rugby for Florida Atlantic University, and I picked up rugby in college. I missed playing sports and football, so I picked that up, and unfortunately I went in for a tackle, and a knee connected with my neck, and I had a C5-6 compression fracture dislocation, which resulted in my paralysis, and it's where my journey as a quadriplegic began.
Right, understood. I actually have a question. Do you know whose knee connected with your neck? Are you in contact, or have you been in contact at all from that person?
No, not really. I mean, I know of him, but I don't know. It's just a freak thing that happened.
Sure.
It wasn't anyone's fault, really.
Right.
And it can happen in a split second to anyone.
Hazard of sports, hazard of sports. You said that you began this foundation with the help of family, friends, supporters, 6 months after your paralysis. Talk about why you chose this direction. You could have decided to do anything with your new normal. You could have decided to retreat. You could have been depressed. That might not have been a decision, and it may have been something you experienced, but you did decide to give back. Can you talk about that emotional and that psychological journey that led you to do this?
I felt that a lot of people needed help, and that either way I was going to be fine no matter what in my own mind. I think my family and friends really wanted to help others, so I thought that the best way to do that would be to donate equipment and sponsor community reintegration programs through Jack's Memorial Hospital, where I was for my first 60 days after my injury. So that was the first thing we did, and I felt that would make the biggest impact in our area for individuals with paralysis like myself. So I didn't really think that, my traumatic injury, you assume that you're going to recover and push through, and especially early on, you have a lot of hope that, as an athlete, I think you kind of,
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm going to recover from this injury or whatever, even though you're told otherwise by other doctors. So I don't know why I chose to do it. I think it was because I knew I had a great support system around me, and I felt that we could make a big impact. So,
the Woody Foundation distributes, are they called Woody Packs?
Yes.
Woody Packs, one of which we have right here. What's inside?
So there's about 20 different devices that are designed to help an individual with limited hand functioning. So if you have quadriplegia, I felt one of the biggest challenges for me was not having full hand functioning or being able to pick things up like a normal able-bodied person. So we put a bunch of devices in a backpack that are designed to help individuals with limited hand functioning like myself. We share those devices. You can go on our website, woodyfoundation.org, and request a Woody Pack, and we'll send it to you. So that's something that I felt didn't exist, and I wanted to fill that need for others who might be struggling with finding ways to increase their independence and keep hope that tomorrow can be better and the future will be better, especially if you keep pushing yourself to try and become more independent and live your life to the fullest.
There are so many things that people who are not paralyzed take for granted. Can you talk specifically about whether there is a device in the pack to help people use a mobile phone, a cell phone?
Yes, so I'm going to show that one off right here. It's one of my favorite devices in the Woody
what?
pack.
That wasn't planned. I didn't know you had it right there.
I was hiding it from you. I was hiding it from you, Nancy. But this device right here is an adapted phone case. So if I drop my phone, I can pick it up in a variety of different ways. It's really helped me use my phone a lot easier and more independently after I was injured, and I felt that I could share that with others to help them make their life a little bit easier.
So what it has is what looks like a large plastic hook on a holder, and you can pretty much thread your thumb through it.
Yeah, it looks like a little man, and then you bend the man around your phone.
It has a Gumby look, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of Gumby looking little person that goes around your phone.
And then do you use pretty much the audio function, Siri, mostly to dial and to do other functions?
I use both. I definitely use a lot of the voice activation, but it's not perfect yet. So definitely doesn't always get it exactly right. So I use voice activation or just typing, especially if it's a short message. I'll just type it in there.
Right, right. Where do the devices come from? How do you discover these devices?
Over time, I found things that help me live a little bit more independently. Some are just regular products that are on the market, and some are specialized products that are more designed for disabled individuals. And so I'd say probably a little bit less than half are particularly for a disabled person, and then about half are just devices that exist that you can adapt for someone with limited hand functioning.
Right. You live a pretty active life, and you do sail. You help sail. I know that you are affiliated with Shake a Leg.
Yes.
In Coconut Grove. You have a blog and sponsor a pub crawl. So fishing tournaments. So you are out and about.
Definitely.
Talk about how you help others who may suddenly find themselves in this position for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
How do you, one-on-one, give them counseling, guidance, optimism, and hope?
I think just showing them that they can still, do things that they enjoy and live their life, and not to really worry about what anyone else thinks or problems in their life. Sometimes it can be easy to focus on those, for sure, especially if you're struggling adapting to a wheelchair, which can happen so quickly that you end up in a wheelchair like myself. So I think I show a lot of people that you can go out there, have fun, and just try and live life. And if people are struggling, I tell them to do things you like and enjoy to do. You're still the same person you were before you're injured. Now you're just in a wheelchair. It's not like what you liked really changed. It's you might need to do it a little bit differently now, but just focus on things you enjoy and surround yourself with people that love you, and usually good things happen.
That was my next question. You have a caring, loving support system. Not everyone has that, whether they are able-bodied or disabled. If that is a challenge for people, how are there agencies? Are there ways that you tell them that they can cope with that, should cope with that?
Yeah, there are different programs out there. I'm a part of the Spinal Cord Injury Support Group Miami. So we have a spinal cord injury support group meeting on the fourth Wednesday of every month.
Where do you
at
meet?
noon at Jackson Memorial in the Diagnostic Treatment Center on the second floor. So we connect with a lot of wheelchair users there. We have a meeting that has a presentation with someone that shares information about living with paralysis or programs that are available in the community. So we have that once a month that I'm on board with 4 other members. And we run that meeting and also have a monthly activity in the community. So that's something that definitely helps people kind of get back out there a little bit, especially after they're first injured. Can really be beneficial.
Sure, sure. Do you know Mark Buonaconti?
Yes.
He really has been through this, and I think
Yeah.
he is really committed to walking again. Is that something you hold out hope for, or do you think that is a waste of energy?
I definitely hold out hope for it, and I definitely think it's possible and will eventually be there. I'm not sure if I'll be walking in a Iron Man suit or with some type of cell manipulation, but I definitely think it's possible
Robotics.
with the right people working on it and putting a lot of money and research towards it. I definitely think it's possible. It can be frustrating because the cure is never going to be quick enough for me. I wanted it yesterday, just like most people in wheelchairs, but that's not the reality of how life works.
Do you have a relationship with Mark Buonaconti?
Yes, so we recently had our golf tournament, which minimum of 50% of the proceeds goes to the Buonaconti Fund. And he came out and spoke at our golf tournament and updated us on some of the research that's currently taking place. So the Miami project has pioneered the hypothermic treatment to try and reduce secondary swelling after you have a spinal cord injury. And also they received FDA approval for injecting human cells into the spinal cord.
Wow.
So they were the first to receive FDA authorization for that. And they're doing a lot of great
Is that
things.
showing promise? What are those results showing?
Yeah, I mean, what is a cure? How do you define that? Is that regaining sensation? Is that having muscle functioning?
Right.
And you could get, one of these things or multiple of these things, but is that only 30% sensation or is that 70% muscle functioning? And all of these things are highly complex and not very simple, but it's showing progress.
Right.
But it's never as quick as I like.
Who funds the Woody Foundation? How does it fund its Woody packs and the devices that are in there?
So we have 4 signature events throughout the year. We have a lobster feast, a golf tournament, a Woody stock concert, and also our lionfish spearfishing tournament. So those events fund the organization and our Woody pack, and that's how we support all the endeavors that we have.
Do you receive any grants at all from foundations or other institutions?
Every once in a while, but usually it's private donors.
Talk about Woody Stock. I love the name. Who's appeared at Woody Stock concerts?
We've had a lot of great Miami local bands. Some of my friends at the Problem Kids have performed a few times. Artificial, and we've had a bunch of different people perform at Woody Stock.
That's wonderful. Well, before we wrap up, tell our viewers again whether they need it or whether they know someone who needs it.
Yeah.
How to secure a Woody pack? How many have you given away?
About 1,000.
Wow.
About 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's
Sure.
been doing it for probably 4 or 5 years, and I felt that this was really needed because A lot of people give out backpacks with information, but I don't think people are giving out backpacks particularly with devices for people with limited hand functioning.
Right.
So if you or someone you need is looking for a Woody pack, you can find some devices like this adapted fork and phone case at woodyfoundation.org and go request a Woody pack.
Thank you so much. Tomorrow, version 5 of our interviews with people more people should know about. We'll be talking to HIV advocate Alicia Trammell Mathis. Thanks so much for joining us. Woody, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Nancy.